Odyssey, you may want to consult a simple plot outline. Lots of those are available online. They'll offer you maybe a paragraph's worth of summary of what happened in these two books. It helps you to feel at home with the storyline itself. Lots of people actually stop after that first reading. They may get the story, but they're missing lots of the artistic fun, the engagement behind the scenes, Homer taking you places you didn't expect to go. That's a good time after a first reading of Homer, where you let the poet himself tell you what he has to say. That's a good time to look at the questions I have created for each pair of books. Something like 4 or 5 questions that may help you notice what's going on beneath the surface of Homer's story. Then the next 2 phases can happen in either one of 2 orders. You may want to read the book a second time, now that you're acquainted with the poet's world, now that you've seen some questions that help you dig beneath the story level. You may want to read the poem a second time yourself, or you may want to enjoy this presentation that's meant to help you notice things, and then go on to your second reading of those 2 books of the poem. That second reading, in any case, will go more quickly. You're now much more at home in the world that the poet is creating, and you'll naturally see the relationship of one scene or one set of episodes to other episodes that you've already read. The poem is taking on a life of its own. It's communicating to you much more than the story. My hope is that when we come to the end of the poem, you will have enjoyed it so much that you want now, with all the background that you know, to go back and read it a third time. Sheer enjoyment of a great artistic piece building, step to step, to a conclusion you may not have expected. There is so much going on in the poem, and each time we read it, we find something more. I have taught this poem something like 40 times in my life, and it's really a pleasure for me to read it again each time and to find new things. Homer is wonderfully subtle, engaging, lively. In case it's not already clear, my hope in these conferences is most of all to put you in touch with the poet himself, to let Homer communicate to you the wonderful things he has to say about life. The text I have chosen to use as my source for these lectures is Homer's Odyssey by Robert Fitzgerald. There are many translations available, and any one of them will serve you well. Some of them will be available online, others of them in book form like Fitzgerald's Odyssey. This was done in 1961, at the very time when I was beginning to engage myself with serious study of the poem. Fitzgerald, for me, in his translation, moves wonderfully fast as Homer does. His translation has a freshness to it, a light touch that keeps the poem going. And often his choice of individual words has just the right touch, I believe, for understanding Homer. There's one thing to notice about his translation. He tries to come closer to the original Greek names in his spelling of them. And so names you may know, like Telemachus or Achilles, will be in his version Telemachos and Achilleus. I'll speak the traditional form, but the written materials that come along with these conferences will use Fitzgerald's rather unusual form that's more faithful to the Greek. I'll provide a 2-column study guide that gives you the main names in both forms.